Okay, so let's make some new tile sets. We're going to make a bigger room. So what I've done is I've selected room 1 and Control D, duplicated it, and we're going to rename this room 2, or room 1 big, room 2 big 1, room 2 big 1. Right. And I'm just going to increase the size of the cube, so 20 by 20, and then door 10 is it? Thinking, oh, I might up it to 0.5 to the Y access. Okay, and next one, 10.5, door, door, 10.5, minus 10.5. Okay, there we go. Big one, big assets, basics 1B, prefab, tiles, admit tile, big, and we can even go bigger. So, okay, happens. See any, is this a big one? Okay, the texture on it's a bit, seems like it needs material. Alright. Duplicate the material, Control D for it, and I'm going to change this for, so we're now on 4, are we? Yeah. And then we're going to change the click view, click here, there we go. 8 by 8, 8 by 8, okay. Save that, save. Don't know if that's going to update the one in the prefab folder. Find out. No. So get to basics 1B. We've got to get rid of this one. Delete. Yes. And the basic one. To update the texture and put it back in there. Now hit play. Right, and so I think yes, that's great. Although is that overlapping? Messing around with sizes could get us into trouble. Possibly. This is just about right. Whoa! That mistake. We probably should put a safety net underneath, but we'll go without the safety net for now. Right, we've got that one. That's great. Let's go even bigger. So we're going to duplicate that. We're going to move it over here. Do this room 3. Room 3, big one, short. Boom. Compact, prefab. Right, floor. 20, so let's make it bigger. 40 by 40. Door. So it's 20. 20, 20, 20, minus 20, and this one. Okay, right, save. And later on, we're going to put some walls in. Okay, that's not done anything because we haven't saved it. So drag that into there. Pick up the prefab, great. And we also need to do some rectangular ones as well, would be good. And so tiles, 1B, add new tile. Can you grab it? Oh no, here. We don't use live ones. Tiles, and then here. Hit play. You may find there's overlap. Okay, so we've got a bit of a step issue here, which is the fact that the door is offset on the other tiles. And it's increased, although it's increased in size, okay, it doesn't, what we probably do is, let's get rid of maximize on playlist and just have a look at it from a more aerial view. It's looking quite cool, if you ask me. Right, so we could do with a rectangular room, just look at that longer corridors. I think so, let's have a long corridor. Corridor 1, duplicate, unpack. Corridor 2 long 1. Corridor 2 long 1. Okay, let's move it offset a bit. Okay, and go to floor, scale. We go straight to 40. Yeah, I think so. And then door. So door. And like that. Okay, that's those. And done that. Is there anything else we need to do with this one? We don't want to do too many of these tiles, to be honest, until we've started putting in the walls and the ceiling. Then we need to start putting lighting in. Wall, ceiling lighting, possibly some furniture, you know. Right. So hold along. Have I forgotten something? Oh yeah, texture. Before I do this, we need to change that texture. So click on it and then change it to the next one along 4. I believe we should that to work. We're going to have to make our own. Let's just get to there, get to 4, is it? 4, we're going to duplicate it again, D, we've got 5, that's right, and we're going to drag 5 in there, because this is showing a little bit too stretched, so 16 on here, yeah, that's better, 16 there, no, we don't mind long bricks, next, but not that we want, this makes a huge difference, so, okay, that's great. It's a bit samey. I mean, we could use some of the worn ones. Let's have a look at that. Let's drag it in. So first of all, let's duplicate it. Control D. There. Stick it in. And then 8 by 16. See how that looks. Oh, it's a bit. So we've got a worn path versus. And these textures, of course, remember, are coming from the dwarf pack. The free dwarf pack. Which is awesome. Oh. Should be coming from the dwarf free pack. There we go. Oh, look at that. I think it's gone into the paid one, but it's still available on free at all these materials. So that's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Try that one in. Okay, again, duplicate it. Duplicate. Oh, that's just duplicate the right thing. So if we go to materials, we find something interesting, that one. Control D, so we don't mess with the original. We just drag it in. Tiling 8 by 12. Okay. It's 12, 8, 16. That's better. Alright. I don't know if it's too tiled or not. Do I want that, or do I want to go back to stone tiling? That's fine. Okay, we'll use the free ones then. So materials, free, what about it? Duplicate it, drag it in, and 8 by 16. Obviously, you mess around until you get what you like. I quite like that, so that's fine. So now we're going to go back up into basics 1B. And let's corridor along. And we're going to add that to the tile set. Corridor along. Right, let's generate the dungeon. And get some nice long corridors that add a bit more to the atmosphere of the dungeon. And if I maximise this so we can actually experience it. Right. We do need to fix these doorways. That's definitely, yeah, it's looking good. So we need to adjust the doorways so they're all on the same level. Oh, that's not looking good. So it looks great from here, but then when we look at it from the side view, it's not so great. That may be an issue. We might have to do something about that at some point. It looks alright there. It's just a little bit too piled. So we can put like capping stones around it. Okay, so what we need to do is fix all these other ones. I thought we might do, so select room 1, find the doors, well actually find all the doors, and set the Y to 0.5, there we go. And do the same for corridor, door, Y.5, and what else have we missed over here? Crossroads, door, door, 0.5. Just raise them up. Is everything happy? Okay, so then we have to delete all of them from here. There's a bit of a worry. Got them all here, so delete that one, corridor 1, delete, crossroads, delete, corridor, delete, bigs done, delete, so we do the corridor in, crossroads in, the room 1 in, and then for tile set, put room 1 in, corridor in, and upgrade in, and then save, and then play. Those are just the example ones which we can move at some point. Yeah, we've still got an offset problem. Just check, make sure everything's good. Ah, okay, so I missed out corridor. Large corridor, long corridor, door, 0.5. That was floor, control Z. Door, 0.5. There we go. Now then, right, line up. And we're going to do corridor, long, delete. Great. Right. Okay, so hit play. Yeah, it's great. So the next step's going to put walls in. That's a bit more 3D. Probably could do with making a big crossroads. I think these rooms are going to be too small. Not this one, but the other ones. Yeah, it should be alright. But I think I do need to make a bigger crossroads. And we do have... The thing I'm worried about is when you start adding walls to it, even if they're thin walls, because we're already, I think, only just acceptable in terms of left-right movement. So, well, these big ones not a problem, but I'm just thinking, this is width 6, and if you add walls to that, it all starts getting very cramped again. I mean, we can just increase the whole size, which is what I do with other ones. Just scale everything by 2 at the end. But the more we can get sorted at the beginning, the better. Because if I kind of maximize, we can create incredibly complex systems, but I need some sort of pause button. Get up, get out. Zoom out a bit, like that. You create very complex looking dungeons, but the trouble is, any error will be replicated. Any error in the basic construction things will just keep being replicated as well. So I'm just wondering if even like even a 6 width, click on that. Maybe be better to have 7 or even 10 as a width. Just we're gonna have to start doing the walls soon. Right, and the problem, one of the problems with walls is going to be the doors and having something to take. If there isn't a connection, replacing that with just a block or something. Anyway, I think we've covered enough there, and all we did here in this lesson is duplicate them and create much bigger units, which gives a lot more space and gives us much more freedom when it comes to building the walls in and ceilings. So we need taller than you'd expect walls, higher than you'd expect ceilings, simply so that unless you're specifically going, unless you're going specifically for a claustrophobic building. I mean, this is lovely, just massive infinite skies, but obviously it's not very realistic. And the question is, if you were in a dungeon, how high would the ceilings be? And the other question is, if you switch to third person perspective, you need some space for the camera to operate and not just be blocked out by the ceiling. But one of the things you can do with the third person camera is disable the ceiling. So as long as there's no physics dependent on having the ceiling. But of course that could be a problem when you then sweep down to look up in third person. So switching between the two perspectives is tricky. But what you can do is lock third person camera quite closely to the character, so it can't just zoom off into the dungeon, into the solid rock. Anyway, so we've increased the size of things, and we're thinking about putting walls in and trying to make things as away from claustrophobia as possible, unless that's what you're going for.